Imagine a country so enormous that sunrise and sunset can happen at the same time, depending on where you're standing. A land where winter temperatures fall below -70 degrees Celsius, where people live in frozen wilderness, and where ancient traditions continue in one of the harshest environments on Earth. Beneath its icy landscape lie magnificent underground palaces, mysterious tribes, bizarre foods that can be deadly to outsiders, and breathtaking natural wonders few people ever see. The Russia you hear about in the news is only one side of the story. Today, we're exploring the hidden Russia, a world filled with astonishing facts that may completely change how you see this extraordinary nation. Russia is the largest country on Earth, covering more than 17 million square kilometers. It stretches across Europe and Asia, crossing 11 time zones, making it possible for people in one region to wake up to sunrise, while others are already watching the stars. Despite its enormous size, much of Russia remains untouched by humans. Endless forests, frozen rivers, towering mountains, and remote wilderness cover huge areas where very few people have ever lived. In some parts of Siberia, you can travel hundreds of kilometers without seeing another person. One of the coldest inhabited places on Earth is the Russian city of Yakutsk. Winter temperatures regularly drop below -50 degrees Celsius, and scientists have recorded temperatures approaching -70 degrees Celsius in nearby regions. At these temperatures, exposed skin can freeze within minutes. Life here requires remarkable adaptation. Houses are built on tall concrete pillars instead of directly on the ground. This prevents the warmth from the buildings from melting the permanently frozen soil beneath them, which could cause entire structures to collapse. Daily life also changes. Many residents leave their car engines running for hours, because restarting a frozen engine can become nearly impossible. Fresh fish and meat naturally freeze outdoors, turning local markets into giant natural freezers. But even beyond these cities, some people choose an even more extreme lifestyle. Deep in northern Siberia lives the Nenets, one of the world's last great nomadic communities. For thousands of years, they have followed vast herds of reindeer across the Arctic tundra, traveling hundreds or even thousands of kilometers every year. Instead of permanent houses, they live inside cone-shaped tents made from reindeer hides. A small stove-burning reindeer fat provides just enough warmth to survive temperatures that would be deadly for most people. Every part of the reindeer is used. Meat provides food, skins become clothing and shelter, while bones and antlers are turned into tools. Nothing is wasted, because survival depends on making full use of every available resource. Their clothing consists of several thick layers of animal fur designed to trap body heat. Without this protection, surviving outside for long periods would be impossible. Russia's climate has also shaped some of the world's most unusual food traditions. In Arctic regions, certain meats are intentionally fermented underground for months before being eaten. These foods are considered traditional delicacies by local communities, but can be dangerous for people whose bodies are not adapted to them. Other northern communities eat raw fish, frozen meat sliced into thin strips, and nutrient-rich animal organs to survive in places where farming is nearly impossible. While these foods may seem unusual, they reflect centuries of adaptation to one of the harshest climates on Earth. Russia is also home to extraordinary natural wonders. In the remote Kuril Islands stands an incredible volcanic landscape where lakes and mountains appear to exist inside one another, creating scenery that almost looks computer-generated. Across the Altai Mountains, giant rock formations balance on narrow stone pillars, shaped by thousands of years of wind and rain erosion. Another mysterious destination is the Valley of Ghosts in Crimea. During sunrise and sunset, fog drifting through the towering rock pillars creates strange human-like shadows, giving the valley its legendary name. These remarkable landscapes remind us that Russia is far more than snow and politics. It is a land of incredible geological diversity, ancient cultures, and natural beauty unlike anywhere else on Earth. But Russia's greatest surprises aren't found only in its frozen wilderness, they're hidden beneath its busiest cities. Most people think of a metro station as nothing more than a place to catch a train. In Moscow, however, stepping underground feels like entering a royal palace. Marble columns, glittering chandeliers, colorful mosaics, and enormous sculptures transform ordinary stations into works of art. Built during the Soviet era, these stations were designed not only for transportation but also to inspire pride and showcase the country's achievements. In St. Petersburg, the experience is even more dramatic. Because the city was built on marshland, many metro stations had to be constructed incredibly deep below the surface. Long escalators descend so far underground that the journey itself feels like entering a hidden world beneath the city. Russia is also home to one of humanity's greatest engineering achievements, the Trans-Siberian Railway. Stretching more than 9,000 kilometers, it is the longest continuous railway line in the world. Crossing forests, rivers, mountains, and endless plains, this legendary route connects European Russia with the Pacific coast, offering one of the most unforgettable train journeys on Earth. Beyond its famous landmarks, Russia has traditions that often surprise visitors. Every January, during the Orthodox Epiphany celebration, thousands of people cut cross-shaped holes into frozen lakes and jump into the icy water. Despite freezing temperatures, many believe this ritual symbolizes spiritual cleansing, faith, and inner strength. Another custom takes place before every long journey. Families quietly sit together for a few moments before leaving home. This brief silence is believed to bring good luck and ensure a safe trip. When visiting someone's home, arriving empty-handed is considered impolite. Guests usually bring flowers, chocolates, or a small gift. There's one important detail, however: flowers should always be given in odd numbers. Even numbers are traditionally reserved for funerals and memorial ceremonies. Russian hospitality is also unique. People may seem serious or reserved when meeting strangers, but once trust is built, they are often known for remarkable generosity and lifelong friendships. For those interested in history, Russia's weekend flea markets feel like open-air museums. Elderly vendors display collections of Soviet-era objects, antique tools, military memorabilia, vintage cameras, clocks, coins, and handmade crafts. Walking through these markets is like traveling back in time, where every item carries a story from a different chapter of history. One fascinating detail is that many of these sellers aren't there simply to make money. For some, the market is a place to meet people, share memories, and enjoy conversation after retirement. Their stories often become just as valuable as the antiques they sell. Despite its massive size, the cost of living in many parts of Russia is lower than many people expect. Outside major cities like Moscow and St. Petersburg, housing can be relatively affordable, while public transportation remains inexpensive and efficient. Local restaurants, groceries, and everyday services are often reasonably priced compared to many Western countries. Of course, life here comes with challenges. Long winters, isolated regions, and harsh weather demand resilience and careful preparation. Yet millions of people have adapted to these conditions for generations, creating communities that continue to thrive in one of the world's most demanding environments. Russia is a land of striking contrasts. Ancient traditions exist alongside modern cities. Frozen deserts lie only a train ride away from vibrant cultural centers. Some regions remain almost untouched by human activity, while others are filled with world-famous architecture and history. It is a country that cannot be understood through headlines alone. To truly appreciate Russia, you have to look beyond stereotypes and discover its landscapes, cultures, and traditions for yourself. From the icy wilderness of Siberia to magnificent underground metro stations, from nomadic Arctic tribes to the world's longest railway, Russia continues to surprise those willing to explore its hidden side. Whether you admire its breathtaking natural beauty, its rich history, or its extraordinary ability to adapt to extreme conditions, one thing is certain: Russia is unlike any other place on Earth. If you enjoyed this journey into one of the world's most fascinating countries, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who loves discovering incredible places. There's always another mystery waiting to be explored.